What's up, guys? Today is Friday, May 14th. Welcome to another episode of What's on the Menu Daily. Our divorce settlement papers are filed because apparently when Dale took over the last 2 days when I was out and I told him, he had this whole running gag that we weren't together anymore, that we broke up, that I cheated on him, that I was denying his calls.
Were you not denying my calls?
I was busy.
You didn't pick up a phone call for 3 days.
But I was texting you.
It doesn't matter. I need to see your face.
Okay, this goes to what the JP25 media guys were saying.
The whole FaceTime guy.
I'm not a FaceTime guy.
If I can't see your face,
I feel like grown men shouldn't be FaceTiming.
What do you mean?
Especially after
it's
8 o'clock.
Easy.
It's easier to text. I'm a text guy.
You sound like a chick right now. Like,
No
deny
way.
FaceTime, text right away. I don't have any makeup on.
Chicks are the complete opposite.
Oh,
they
tell
love
me how.
FaceTime. They love FaceTime.
Not when makeup or nothing's on.
Yes, they do.
Nah,
it depends.
not all.
No, it depends.
I don't know.
Guys, welcome to another episode. We are not divorced. We are not broken up. Dale just decided to have a little fun.
Going through some
for the
shit.
people that texted me and DM'd me saying, "Oh, what happened to you guys? Like, we are still good." I love that he completely stirred this and spun it in a completely different angle, but I'm all here for it. Dale, happy Friday.
Thank you.
Love the shirt.
Thank you. Before we get going, shout out my boy Lucas Jacobson. Brought this up for me a couple weekends ago. Had to get it out of the closet today.
He's in spring training, or he's at the alternate site for the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, rehabbing right now. Had an injury, so wishing him the best of luck, health, happiness, success here. Come back stronger than ever from that injury. Will, I haven't seen you all week. How we doing?
I'm good. Maybe some big news soon. Who knows? I had to take care of some stuff the last couple days, as I mentioned. I wasn't off frolicking out and about in the wilderness or on the beach or in bars. I was doing some stuff. So don't listen to what Dale was saying. We were still together. You mentioned happiness earlier. I'm super happy about the NFL schedule release. You kind of lightly brushed over it.
Yeah.
Quick thoughts though. So now that we have it, it's weird because I've been in so much baseball and basketball mode and betting on soccer as well. Shout out to Rob. The NFL schedule came out, and it just dawned on me again that we're gonna have 17 games this season. A whole extra game, a whole extra week to bet on. I'm sure you're happy about it, but with the whole television contract coming into fruition possibly soon, with the new CBA, I mean, could we realistically see an 18-game schedule at some point in the next less than a decade? I'd say.
I don't know. I mean, I definitely wouldn't leave it out of the question, but I also am not going to sit here and act like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to adding another game.
Yeah.
As a fan, I think it would be cool to see 18 games, but as a player,
there's a lot of pushback.
Yeah, there's a lot of pushback.
Because of injuries
and
and
I can
everything.
understand. Like those are fucking car wrecks.
Yeah.
Every time a tackle happens, every time a play happens. So listen, I get it. Health and safety of these dudes is way more important than an extra week of enjoyment for me, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens here. At the end of the day, they do have to come to the agreement.
No, I totally agree. And, so now instead of 4 preseason games, there's going to be 3. And they've been pushing for this for a while. And I'm kind of on the player side because as much as I love being a fan and watching the game or being and playing media analyst, whatever, that's the best part. And I think the best job in the world. But we're not on the field. And like you said, we aren't the ones sustaining these car wreck style injuries and physical feelings in the body. So, you know what? We're going to go with it as it will. In terms of bye weeks and everything, this is going to change it up. I mean, can you imagine the team that gets a bye week like in week 5? Like, that's going to fucking suck where they play like 12 straight weeks. But
dude, the Browns, speaking of bye weeks, we go Ravens, bye Ravens.
Yeah.
And the Ravens go Browns, Steelers, Browns.
Well, so you don't have a bye week until week 13. So
Yeah.
as opposed to old NFL schedule rules, I mean, you would primarily aim between 4 and 11.
Yep.
Now it's scattered. So, there's some teams, I would say, you would want maybe a Thursday night game before a bye. It's like, those mini buys where it's like you get, 9, 10 days off, something like that.
Love those. Every team should get at least 1 or 2 of those a year.
Yeah.
Especially with more games going on. But let's start at the top. Tampa Bay opens up against America's old team, Dallas Cowboys.
America's
the verbiage
old
on
team.
that couldn't have been better. Williams outdid himself there.
That's Jim Rome saying
Yep.
that the Browns are America's new team. But
They
okay.
are. I mean, we'll get to them. Tampa Bay plus 550 opening to repeat as Super Bowl champions. What do you think about that value, Will? Where do you stand there?
I wouldn't play it. I wouldn't play it just because.
Wouldn't play it.
No, I think it's gonna be fun. You have these whole little tidbits. Oh, when is Julian Edelman gonna get there? I think the biggest thing really fast in week 4, a reunion. Okay. So Tom Brady is going to join either Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, and Brett Favre to be the only quarterbacks in the history of the game, which dates back forever, to beat every team in the NFL. Now, obviously, we know that he was on the Patriots for like 1,000 years. Now he's going to be able to have a chance to dethrone that team and take them down. Now, it's funny because he said online on Twitter, I love the Twitter personality of Brady.
Do you? He's starting to annoy me a little bit.
Is he playing too much dad?
Listen, I loved when he would just like shoot from the clouds. You didn't really know when it was coming.
Yeah.
Like, he just would subtly drop like these funny ass tweets. Now he's trying so hard. He's just putting out a lot, and I don't know how I like it.
So there was a graphic that the NFL put out that had Tom Brady comment, and he said it's like it's him in his Tampa Bay uniform looking at all the Super Bowl banners at Gillette Stadium, and he says it's like when your high school friends meet your college friends. I could see where you're coming from. He pushed a little too much. I can't resonate with that.
When my college friends meet my San Diego friends.
Yeah, exactly. All these bad behaviors with you.
No,
but I don't look. I'm glad that they're bringing back all 22 starters on each side, but if there's going to be one team that's going to do it, it might be Tampa Bay. They're the last team to repeat as Super Bowl champion. It's too hard now. It's way too hard.
Don't get me wrong. I really like Tampa Bay's roster. I think they did a good job bringing everyone back, like you said. The back end of the roster, I think the way they did the salary cap is still going to continuously improve. Like, they have space, they have time, they have the abilities to get studs in there for cheap too, because everyone wants to go play with Tom. So that's something we'll keep our eye on. Statistical nerd shit based off his season average. Tom Brady has a chance to pass Drew Brees in passing yards this year. Do you think that's something he's going to get completed?
I don't, but yeah, barring injury, as long as he's okay and he's eating the avocado ice cream and he's rubbing it on his joints and put it on his dick when he has sex, yeah, for sure. He's going to for sure pass it. What's also interesting is, based off that average, he could do it in week 4 against his old team. He could do that and break the all-time record and just completely set himself apart from Drew Brees this season. So,
thinking of his old team, if he beats his old team, he's going to join a list of Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, and Brett Favre as the only quarterback in NFL history to beat every team.
So Dale obviously wasn't paying attention to 3 minutes ago when I already said that. I already fucking said that. That shows how much he pays attention. I literally said that 2 minutes ago.
My brain, dude. We talked about this. I sent Will a nice text at like 3 in the morning. I wasn't drinking. I didn't do anything bad. Just had a rough day yesterday. I had to wake up at 4 a.m. yesterday too. It's just like, hey man.
I think that's gonna be the clip today. That dude. Oh my god.
I was just like, hey man, like, I'm just now getting to bed. It wasn't even bad decisions. I'll text you when I wake up.
So this happens at talk radio all the time. I gotta say, you went a year without doing that. So although the streak is over, that's pretty impressive. As you mentioned, wow, I literally read that 3 minutes ago, dude. Like, you read verbatim, like, everything I just
Why
said.
are we going on?
Whatever. Moving on. As you mentioned, your Brownies, they take on Kansas City Open. Now, the Chiefs plus 500 to win. I'm going to go on record right now. I said this, I think we went to lunch maybe 3 weeks ago. I don't see the Kansas City Chiefs advancing past the divisional round. Nope. You think I've lost my mind? Here's the reason why. I don't care what their GM Brett Veach has said. I don't care what Andy Reid has said. Patrick Mahomes had surgery, I believe, on his foot or his ankle or some sort, somewhere in his lower extremities. He just had a child. He's been to the Super Bowl the last 2 seasons. He's won an MVP. And although he is beyond his years in terms of maturity, he's still only 25 years old. He doesn't turn 26 until September. I think in terms of his mental dexterity, there has been so much on him. And like I said, I can't speak to it, and I don't want to for another 10 years, but having a child takes a lot out of you, specifically at a young age, on top of the surgery. We're not going to see another fucking fantastic statistical season that we saw from Travis Kelce. He will decline. And I don't know how strong the hamstring of Tyreek Hill is. Look, they had a good draft getting some receivers. They're getting their backs. I'm going to stick to that. I think we see this all the time. Remember all those years we said, oh, Brady's going to win it again? They get bounced by the Ravens. They get bounced by other teams.
It happens. It's hard to go to the Super Bowl more than 2-3 years in a row. Chiefs plus 500, Browns plus 1,600. Listen, I touched on this a little bit. I'm excited to see this matchup. This will be the first time we see the new and improved Browns defense.
The rematch from the playoffs.
Yeah. Listen, this Browns defense could be scary good. The way that it's set up, a lot of people don't really understand this, but It's a 4-2-5. We have 5 DBs that can cover anyone on the field, blitz at any time, tackle at any time. 2 stupid athletic linebackers, 4 defensive ends that can drop into coverage or blitz and get a sack.
Look, on paper, you guys look great. I mean, I want to see you guys thrive. Hopefully, I want you guys as a franchise, and specifically meeting people in your fan base and your friends. I'm pushing for you guys because you've been loyal. Now, do I want you guys to be the brown paper bags? Because if that's what's all you're going to be, come September, October, we'll see. Big year for Baker. This is where he makes his money.
Listen, Will, and another matchup that we're going to talk about now, you're going to see when the Browns come out west and go to Sophie Stadium to whoop on the San Diego Chargers of Los Angeles County.
The SD.
I can't wait to sit with you in the stadium during that game and just...
I probably wouldn't go to the stadium, but I don't watch it from my couch.
I'll be there for that.
We'll FaceTime, and we'll have some sort of cameras ready. So the Browns and Chargers will face off, so I'm sure we'll have some fun bets come September when that happens. Look, I'm stoked for the Chargers. Now, they're getting 3 primetime games this year, Monday night versus the Raiders, a Thursday night game versus the Chiefs, and a Sunday night game against the aging and very old and frail Ben Roethlisberger. But, I mean, at 33-1, you get this Chargers team. I figured with Justin Herbert winning Offensive Rookie of the Year, they would have gotten more prime time. Is he primed for a sophomore slump? Yes, like all these great rookies that come out and dominate, for sure.
Yep.
But I'll say this. According to PFF, the Chargers had the worst offensive line last year. I mean, it was atrocious. You could drive a fucking semi-truck.
And that's saying a lot because the Bengals was the worst I've ever seen.
So it's funny because the Chargers graded worse than the Bengals.
I know.
And Joe Burrow had his fucking knee completely shredded. But look, what did the GM, Tom Telesco, do? He went out and significantly upgraded the line. They signed Corey Linsley over from the Green Bay Packers. They drafted Rashawn Slater. They got some other interior linemen from the Steelers. And free agency, I'm behind a solid O-line. I mean, we saw Herbert dominate outside of the pocket and under pressure. Can you imagine if he's actually protected? Keep an eye on the San Diego Chargers of Los Angeles County.
Love that. Another big-name team, Green Bay Packers. They're plus 1,400 to win the Super Bowl this year. They're getting 5 primetime games. Is that saying that they think that Aaron Rodgers is about to stay in Green Bay this year?
That's a great question, Dale. Do they know something that we don't know? Because apparently, whether it's 1 week, all the fucking A blocks on sports radio is, oh, how good is Aaron Rodgers going to look in a Denver Broncos helmet? The next week is, oh, now that we have these analysts like John Kuhn, the fullback, and James Jones on the NFL Network saying, hey, I have group chats with Aaron Rodgers. I know what he's capable of. I know what he is and what his relationship is with this team. I think it's something that can be done. I mean, we're beating this to death. I'm not watching the Packers I'm already not watching them to begin with, but the fact that they have Aaron Rodgers, sure, I'll
You're
get
not even watching their highlights if he's gone.
I'll watch it because I'll probably bet on him. But for Jordan Love, look, I want to give him love. Utah State, Mountain West, that's fine, give him exposure. I'm not tuning in to a Bears-Packers game if Jordan Love is the fucking QB.
So I don't think the Packers are even all in on Jordan Love. They brought in Blake Bortles, looking like they're going to sign him. And the GM and multiple people have come out and said, Jordan Love's not ready yet. Like, we need to keep getting him good. Like, I don't think he's ready. I don't think he's anywhere near ready.
I just feel like Aaron Rodgers is so stubborn. He would be the guy that would either sit out or say, all right, I'm going to go to LA and just host Jeopardy. Like, it's a tired take. I understand. But the biggest thing, like you said, the 5 primetime games. I mean, if we don't have to play fucking CSI Horatio Kane right now, CSI Miami, what do they know that we don't know? Right? Like, why? There's no way that the Packers and like Cowboys will play on primetime without Aaron Rodgers.
No, absolutely. All right, let's move down south a little bit. University of Jacksonville Jaguars featuring Urban Meyer, Trevor Lawrence, and a slew of other rookies. What do you think we're going to do here? Is this the best team in the state of Florida this year?
I hope that the Jacksonville Jaguars have homecoming week. I hope that they allow booster. Dude, can this be any more of a fucking college team? Like, this is literally a fucking glorified college team.
If they bring Tebow in, I will laugh so hard.
Okay, so we can intertwine this really fast. So the whole thing, you already know how I stand on Urban Meyer. Like, I understand that he won you guys a national title. In terms of coaching and philosophy, sure, he has it. He's one of the best coaches of all time. He has coached some of the best players of all time and the most questionable players off the field. But that's a separate discussion. Now, look, Trevor Lawrence, we said it during the draft show, is going to lose more games this season than he has in his entire life combined. I want to know how that plays in his mental. And then Jacksonville Jaguars. Oh my God! He just showed me a really vicious meme right now. I'm not even bringing that up. But Tim Tebow. So I've said it before, he's like the NFL version of the Kardashians.
Yeah.
He's just trying to be a business mogul. Like he's just trying to put his face out there and create brand worth and bring in money, which I respect. Like I think it's a fucking genius mastermind what Tim Tebow is doing. The fact that he's next door neighbors with Urban Meyer though, I mean, that's a little ridiculous.
I haven't seen that. Is he really?
They like live on the same street.
So this is the thing about Tebow.
Why would you bring him in?
Listen, I'm not a Tebow guy. I'm not. I never have been. I never will be necessarily a Tebow guy. But one thing that I do know about Tebow as like a sports fan, like listening to everyone who's ever been around and talks about, if Urban Meyer comes out and says that this guy's my tight end, I don't see any reason why Tim Tebow's not out there laying his entire body on the field every single play.
Well, then you have all these stupid people on blogs and stuff saying, oh, he could basically just be Taysom Hill. He was just Taysom Hill 5 years too early. No, he's not. Because that's not the same system. You know why? No. The Saints actually have a fucking good management, and they have a good head coach. Hall of Fame head coach is Sean Payton. And they had Drew Brees. Like, come on now.
Yo, is this point real? He hasn't been on a football field since Call Me Maybe was the #1 song in the country?
Yeah, that was 2012. Yeah. Or somebody I used to, or you're just somebody I used to know.
So
that.
Here's my number. Call me maybe.
Yes, that song. Wow. When that fucking song was the hottest song on Billboard, that was the last time he had laced up his cleats and chin strap on an NFL field. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Wow. This is more of an indictment, though. I'm getting so fired up over this, over Urban Meyer. Like, I don't like the guy. Like, I hate to say it. Like, everyone has their own things.
Yeah.
He brought in that fucking strength coach from Iowa, who is it, Chris Doyle, and then fucking removes him. That's an indictment on management. This isn't on Tebow. And you know what? I do wish success for Tebow because he's working, like, had a cup of coffee with the Mets. I don't even think he broke the...
He played baseball for 6 years.
Yeah. I mean, he made it to AAA.
How crazy is that to think about?
Yeah.
6 years that fool was playing baseball.
On the flip side, really fast of the coin, so they played the Texans. Could there be a more faceless team than the Texans? They might be the new, like, 2000s Raiders and Browns. Like,
I feel so bad for Deshaun.
Like, what is Deshaun Watson? Is he going to sit out? Like, we still don't know. Look.
Is he going to jail?
This is the United States of America. What is it? Innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything on that case.
They've keeping it under wraps.
Cases.
Man, if you're a Texans fan, I mean, there's probably like 8 of you out there.
Yeah, I was going to say, are there Texans fans? Could you imagine living in Texas?
If we lived in Houston, I would get Houston. I would get season tickets.
Huh?
I would.
You would?
Think of all the talent that's rolling through the team.
I would drive to Dallas.
Huh?
I would drive to Dallas.
I heard H-Town's fun.
I mean, Houston's probably fun.
But think of all the good teams that would fly, like go in. There's no one that ever goes.
That's true. It'd be
and
cheap.
I don't give a fuck about Texas.
Will's out here. Listen, you're being frugal. I like it. Getting yourself in the stadium for a lot of good games.
Like I said, this is. I mean, they're so young. My thing is, Urban, you've had so much control over young men's lives. Now you're going to be coaching guys and adults that have families and mortgages and kids that are going to private school. You can't tell them what to do. This isn't like, oh, let me see your car. Who was the guy before Cardell Jones that got hurt? Braxton Miller.
Private school.
Yeah, if you're an NFL dad, I'm pretty sure your kids are enrolled in private school.
Yeah.
They're not going to the fucking public school down the fucking street.
I'm just impressed with the one-liners you're throwing out today.
It's Friday, man. I try.
Friday. All right, let's move on to the NBA a little bit here. If the Lakers went out, they're currently in the play-in game, right? So it looks like they could have a play-in game with Golden State as things sit. If they went out, they need to be Indiana in New Orleans, and either Portland or Dallas loses out.
Well, it's not happening because Portland lost last night. But we'll get to that in a second.
Could happen. The Lakers could potentially be just in the playoffs, miss the play-in game. So what do you think is going to happen here? Do you think the Lakers can avoid a play-in game, or do you think they're going to be facing Golden State?
I'm just penciling them in to play Golden State.
I am too.
And as we've said the last 3 weeks, and everyone else in the USA, this will probably be one of the most hype matches in the playoffs. I mean, you think about the star-studded matchups. You have another round of playoff games between LeBron and Steph, and we're not doing the tired take of, oh, LeBron versus Steph. Like, no, we're not fucking ESPN. We're not doing that.
I'm sick for Portland. Portland got fucked last night.
Okay, here's my thing with Portland. You look at a guy like Damian Lillard. I mean, obviously he's going to be a Hall of Famer one day. I respect his loyalty to the soil of Portland. I really do. He wants to build a contender there, and he's not going to flip-flop teams like a lot of other teams are. I would say other than maybe Steph Curry, I mean, he's probably the last of his breed.
Yeah.
That's like, I got drafted by this team. I won a title with this team. I won an MVP with this team. I will retire my number with this team. I mean, maybe Damian, but God, dude, so last night really fast. So they're playing the Phoenix Suns, and you would think Portland, who had won 5 straight, they had beat Utah earlier this week.
Yep.
And good for Utah. I mean, they're like the Hawks of like 5 years ago. They had this aberration season where it's like, oh wow, good for them. This is the best in the franchise.
I'm excited to see Utah in the playoffs for sure.
Oh, for sure. But we're kind of going all over the place. Back to the Lakers really fast. To your question, I'm looking forward to the matchup. And look, do you want to see? I'm being generous. A 75% LeBron, because we know his ankle's tweaked. We know he has other physical ailments. We know that Anthony Davis has a sore groin. I'm still in for it, and it's going to be a Steph Curry team. He's going to lead the team. Everyone's saying that Draymond needs to be Defensive Player of the Year. Like, enough with that. I see that enough on Warriors Twitter. Probably not going to happen. Probably leaning towards Rudy Gobert or probably Ben Simmons, maybe Bam Adebayo. And the Miami Heat, by the way, quietly back in the standings.
They are.
But
they are.
We'll be betting that.
Yeah, no, for sure. NBA playoffs, it's probably the only time that I'll watch every NBA game this year. I don't know why I couldn't get behind the NBA that hard in the second half.
Well, the whole thing is, we had that huge blockbuster earlier this year. I remember in a span of a few days, we had Phillip Rivers retire, and then I think the next show or two later, we had James Harden take out the fat suit and got traded. I mean,
he did.
That was crazy. And then with COVID, I had this discussion with one of my other buddies. We were going back and forth, and we were just saying we're almost through a whole calendar year of sports with the coronavirus and post-pandemic, saying in terms of golf tournaments, soccer matches, I think once the Olympics pass, then we're kind of like, okay, we're like basically post-pandemic.
Yep.
But the whole thing, what we're saying is it's been so hard to kind of pay attention to, just for the simple fact that everything's kind of been out of order.
Yep.
Games postponed, new regulations. It's just, it's been hard. And like I said, I think after the Olympics, we'll be like, all right, I think we're back on set. Like, enough. We've fucking brought all the cancellations and all the postponements caught up. But I see what you're saying. It's been tough, especially with college basketball.
Yep.
Yeah, baseball, once we start getting in the groove of it, but...
All right. Will, special of the day. I'm going to let you talk about this. You guys know Will's a huge fighter. These Padre fans out here, all they do is want to throw hands. They're not very nice people. Will, tell me what happened here. Why were the Padres fighting the Rockies?
Okay, so earlier this week, there was an enormous COVID outbreak with the San Diego Padres. Now, that's a whole separate discussion in terms of the new CDC guidelines, how we don't have to wear masks anymore, what constitutes to a large crowd, and when you have to wear a mask, all that stuff. I get it. Like, for some of you that aren't from California, I have to put this out there every time. It's still really strict here, but it's being let go, which is nice.
Relaxing.
Now, in terms of the video, this Padre fan who obviously looked belligerently drunk. I mean, this guy was lights on, nobody's home to the max, comes strutting up. And this is in Denver. This is at Coors Field. I've been at that field for at least, 50 to 60 games. Now, I've always said there's always two sides to the story. Like everyone, you see these fight videos. It was like a typical World Star type of video. So this guy comes strutting up, and there's some other older Rockies fan wearing the dad hat, has a quarter zip on. And I want to know what he was saying, because... what proceeds to happen next is that the Padres fan just a clean fucking hook right there and knocks out the Rockies fan. I mean, it was absolutely a stunner. Good night. Have a good trip. We'll see you next week.
It was Conor McGregor on Jose Aldo type of knockout.
Yeah. I mean, it was solid connection. Like, I
was impressed with the punch.
Yeah. Decent form for being drunk.
Like, what do I always tell you when I get into, like, if I ever get into a fight? You have one shot to knock me out. I think that punch would have knocked me out.
Yeah, that was, I mean, he just fucking, the guy fell. Now, that was my 2 cents on I want to know what the other guy was saying. There's a reason why. Padres fans, I would hope, are not that stupid. Now, here comes the other part. So I actually have like 3 different angles, but the second thing, really fast.
Give them all to me. I want.
So the guy, no, so the dipshit that posted the video, that probably screenshotted it from someone else, puts the video, and then John Boy gets a hold of it, Barstool gets a hold of it, Outkick gets a hold of it, like everyone gets a hold of it, right? All these bloggers and media personalities, on internet personalities. So this asshole literally has the content rights technically because he posted it on Twitter. It's under his name. This asshole, after it starts getting like 100,000, 200,000, like 1,000,000 views, puts his fucking Venmo
Good for him.
under the tweet.
I would have put the Venmo. I would have watermarked the Venmo right on my page.
So so you're for the Venmo now?
I think the Venmo is one of the classic, like, it either blows up or it doesn't work. Like, I am a huge fan of the college game day, like the 1 or 2 a year where it's like, bless my Venmo with the signs.
I need beer money.
Yeah, like Venmos just blow up.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of that. I don't know why. I think that it's so cool. And like when people, like college kids or like someone catches something cool who gets just like
just
10,
blows up.
20 grand in their Venmo account, it's like, that's sick. Like, good for the human race.
Now, once you get like $50,000 in your Venmo, does that get flagged? Like, how does the IRS?
Yeah, no, they'll tax you on it for sure. Like, I hate saying it, but I got like a thing from Venmo in the mail this year for taxes because like I've used Venmo enough, like with like training and stuff.
Oh, gotcha.
So, and like I use Venmo for a lot of like payment collections.
Okay, I was always curious about that.
Yeah, but I don't like you definitely get taxed on it. But dude, imagine being like 21 in college, like a senior in college, catching a badass video, putting it out there, putting your Venmo on, and then just next thing you know, you have beer money for your senior year.
Yeah, you basically made like a summer. It's like when you go on for the summer and you're a valet or a server or something. You work at a golf course. Like that's your summer's money that you just made in 5 minutes. No, I don't know why. I think it's because it's a Padres fan. Like the asshole just made me mad. If I think about it from an economic standpoint, yes, it's actually pretty smart. And if you're gonna capitalize, the worst thing someone's gonna say. Like there was people in the fucking comments that were like, "Oh, I requested you 50 for being that guy." Like, fuck off.
Yeah, I mean, I would never request.
My last spin, my third one on this. Now, I'm all for being safe in the stadium, and I don't want to be get off my lawn guy, but at the same time, PR is so important. I mean, that didn't look good for the Padres at all. And the only thing that pisses me off is back to Twitter again. These stupid Dodger fans, by the way, that was the whole feud between me and Dale, was him wearing a Dodgers hat. These fucking Dodger fans who put a Giants fan in a coma a few years ago. I understand that there was video and a hot mic caught of the Giants fan basically talking a lot of shit. I hate that Dodger fans are saying that Padre fans, this is all they care about now is violence. Get the fuck out of here. That is bullshit. That is an indictment on that guy. That is not Padre fans right there.
I don't know, Will. Camera doesn't lie.
That's what I don't understand. Like, baseball fans are not fucking gangs. This isn't a fucking bar fight. No, he was obviously caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. Solid connection. I'll give you that. It was a solid fucking punch. Like, that was, wow.
Yeah.
They're not going to get any cleaner than that.
Clocked them. Absolutely clocked
But
them.
again, doesn't look good on our part. So there was a bunch of different angles on this.
Doesn't at all. What does look good, though, is that my co-host forgave me a little bit. He's back with me. Next week, I'll be back with my great new hat and my co-host. Guys, have a good weekend. We have a lot to look forward to. UFC tomorrow night. Michael Chandler, Charles Oliveira is the main card. Go check out the homie at Bo Templin's podcast, breaking that down. Don't forget to give us the follow at Will Galvez, at Aaron